Most people look at Google Maps traffic and assume it must be watching the roads somehow. Maybe satellites, maybe cameras, maybe some massive secret system hidden behind the app. That would make sense because the traffic layer feels so immediate that it almost looks like magic. You open Maps and suddenly it knows which roads are moving, which ones are jammed, and which route will probably save you 10 minutes. But that is not because Google is staring at every street in real time. It is doing something much stranger and much more clever. Google Maps does not understand traffic the way a human does. It estimates it constantly. It is taking motion data from huge numbers of phones, comparing that movement against road patterns, and building a live model of what the roads are probably doing right now. So the first thing to understand is this: the app is not seeing traffic directly. It is inferring traffic from behavior. That difference matters because it means the map is less like a camera and more like a prediction engine. When your phone is moving with location services turned on, it can contribute to that system in the background, not as a named person, not as you, but as a point in a crowd of movement. If enough devices on a road are moving at normal speed, that road gets treated as flowing. If those same devices start slowing down, stopping, or creeping forward in a cluster, the system starts reading that stretch of road as congested. That is how the colored traffic lines appear. Green means movement, orange means slowdown, red means trouble. None of that comes from one magical sensor. It comes from lots of small signals being combined into one live estimate. And this is where the first hidden layer shows up. Google Maps is not just reacting to the present, it is comparing the present against the past. Roads have patterns. Certain routes are always slow at specific times. Certain intersections choke up every morning. Certain highways behave differently during weekends, rain, school runs, or rush hour. So the app is not only watching live movement, it is using historical traffic behavior to fill in gaps and make better guesses when live data is incomplete. That means the map you see is not just a picture of the roads, it is a statistical model wearing a picture of the roads. And that's a huge difference. Because once you realize that, you start seeing why Google Maps can sometimes feel unnervingly accurate, and why it can also get weirdly wrong for a short time. If a road suddenly clogs up because of an accident, the system may not know immediately from one car alone. It has to wait for enough movement changes to appear across enough devices before the slowdown becomes obvious. So there's always a small delay between what is happening and what the map confidently shows. That delay is tiny, but it matters. It means Maps is not reading the road as it happens. It is catching up to reality as fast as possible.
And if you're enjoying this kind of hidden system breakdown, that's exactly the kind of thing we dig into here. Most of the technology people rely on every day is doing something far more layered underneath the clean surface they see on screen. Now here is where the system gets even more interesting. Google Maps does not need every device to say, "I am in traffic." It just needs enough motion patterns to imply it. A large number of phones moving slowly in the same direction can be enough to tell the system that the road is clogged. A lot of the intelligence comes from volume and consistency, not from perfect certainty. The app is trying to answer a simple question with imperfect information. How fast are people moving right now, and how does that compare to what should normally be happening here? That is why the app is so useful. It does not need to know everything. It only needs to know enough. But this creates another layer that most people never think about. The traffic layer is not only helping you decide where to go, it is also predicting what will happen next. When you choose a route, Maps is already estimating whether that path will stay clear, get worse, or slow down by the time you arrive. So the blue line on your screen is not a guarantee. It is a live forecast built from movement data, history, and pattern recognition. And that is the part that turns traffic into something bigger than a map feature. It becomes a system for reading collective motion. Millions of tiny data points from phones are being turned into an answer about the world around you without the app ever needing a camera on every road. That is why it works so well. It is not watching traffic like a person would. It is listening to the movement of the crowd and turning that into a prediction. So when Google Maps tells you a road is slow, what it's really saying is this: enough devices have moved through this area slowly enough that the app now believes the road is probably congested. That is a very different kind of intelligence from seeing traffic. It's statistical traffic detection at scale, hidden inside a map. And once you understand that, the traffic layer stops looking like a simple color overlay. It starts looking like one of the quietest and smartest systems in your phone, constantly turning motion into meaning while the rest of us just try to get to the next place without sitting in a jam.